Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do they thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Shaka dudes and dudettes, this is the Beach Bum Freddy Flamingo, and you're listening to Wrestling IQ 101.
Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew alongside Derek.
Yep.
And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And today we're joined with SWF Co-Owner, Billy Dante. Man, how's it going?
All right, how are you guys?
Good, man.
Great, man.
Man, it's a pleasure and honor to be here. Second time here. This is great.
Yeah, definitely good to have you back.
So
Thank you.
last week we had Rob and Chad on.
Yeah, I heard.
You listened to that interview.
I heard it.
Was there anything that they said that wasn't really accurate, in your opinion?
About the fact that they were both breathing. No, hey, listen. Some, you get the two biggest cons in the business, so, that's how that works. But, hey, listen. Well, some things that they said were the truth. Some things they didn't, But we'll touch on that as we go along.
Okay. What was it about, the beginning of the Trifecta that really helped your part in it?
Well, we were at a restaurant. North Jersey. It was a ring rental. And then the restaurant was horrible. It was a dirty restaurant. And legitimately a crackhead was serving us. Then, we were talking about the three of us doing business together. There was a picture from Boardwalk Beatdown with the three of us together in a picture. It's a three-headed dragon. That's what it actually started out as. Then I named it the Trifecta. And from then it just stuck. That's how the Trifecta began. At a dirty restaurant with a crack whore.
That's usually how a lot of good things start.
Yeah. What started off as, something being funny ended up being real life.
Yeah, and it seems like it's going to be something that's pretty successful.
I love it. I respect it.
I see you guys, there's a lot planned.
Oh, yeah.
And I see a lot of shows. I always see Chad, Rob, you posting something that's coming up. And it's it's a lot, but it's a lot of work. How are you guys managing and taking care of all this stuff?
Brother, it ain't easy. It's not easy. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
We all got jobs and we all got personal responsibilities, and no matter what, business, we had this conversation earlier, business doesn't stop.
Yeah,
you got to do what you got to do. There's shows that are not even listed yet.
Yeah.
That's got to go up. There's more fundraisers coming up.
Nice.
So, I believe we're really going to break the 30 mark this year.
Yeah.
30 different shows.
That'd be
If not more. I think we're going to break it.
Wow, that's crazy. Billy, how do you feel about the Trifecta? How does that benefit you? What are you getting out of that arrangement?
Well, the fact that I hate Rob. So there's really no benefit to that.
Okay.
Chad. And you know what it is? I like Chad. And Chad can call me a bumblebee all he wants. The fact of the matter is I have hair. He doesn't. But, listen. What benefits me is a successful business. Yeah. We all know, and of course I've got to be partial, SWF is the premier brand. But Pro Wrestling After Dark is a great company. Standalone. Chad's got that bull by the horns, and obviously you see where that goes. That's going to be incredible. So, beneficial to all of us, again, the Trifecta. It's 2019. Yeah. So it'll be beneficial, and it'll be, great for all of us.
Definitely. Now, the thing I like from looking on the outside, and, I feel like you guys have, it's like a brother relationship. It's like, you love your brother, you hate your brother. But you guys, I see you guys on social media all the time. You guys crack me up because you guys are always ribbing on each other and just posting things about each other. This whole 10-year challenge thing, posting pics about that stuff. I'm just you guys are all hilarious, man.
Well, he looks like Pee Wee Herman.
I agree.
And the other one looks like a pug.
I agree. Yeah.
He's a fluffy pug.
The pug one was funny. That was pretty funny. Oh man, but I like how you guys, it's a good relationship,
Not really. Rob took it real personal.
Yeah, Rob. I mean,
He
Rob.
took it. He made it real personal.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that brotherhood could ever be repaired, and I don't think that brotherhood will ever be repaired.
Yeah.
However, Chad's got his opinions on certain things. So do I.
Uh-huh.
Chad's got his passion for certain things. So do I.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of mutual ground for me and Chad. A lot of mutual ground.
Yeah.
A lot more things in common than me and the other one. Yeah. But again, like I said, Rob made things a lot personal.
Talking about, you're alluding to him striking your son, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm alluding to the fact of you had that shit stain Jimmy controversy with a chain around my neck trying to choke me out. At that point, my son Nicholas, which he shouldn't have been, but he did. When you see your father laying there hurt, I mean, I'm sure with your dad you would do the same thing. I believe anybody would do the same thing. And especially Nicholas is being as passionate as he is in the business. I mean, he's 8 years old, but he loves wrestling, And again, instinct was to protect his dad, and I get that. But for Rob to grab my child and Fury driver him in the middle of that ring made a very big enemy.
Yeah, I'll definitely hear that.
Yeah, I was watching Ace Marksman. His rebuttal to this whole situation.
Right.
He said that you told him to stay back, right?
I did.
Why was that?
Ace Marks was a military style man.
Mm-hmm.
Ace Marksman, no matter what, number games was against him.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I was legitimately trying to cover for my son, and if you saw the end, I was laying over his body where he was out cold.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing I wanted was Ace hurt, but I've given him the go ahead, and he's got a target on both of their backs. So they better be Jimmy Controversy and Rob Fury. Better beware.
Very interested to see where this is gonna head. Rob, I don't know. He's a very devious guy. What are you gonna do to prepare yourself or to counteract what Rob does? Because he's a dirty guy. There's nothing off limits when it comes to Rob. So how are you preparing yourself mentally to?
Did you see the chair shots on Preston Montgomery?
Yeah.
I'm not playing any games.
Yeah, I hear you.
So if I got to take out one of his body parts, if I've got to come after him at his house, if I've got to put his sister duct tape to a chair,
man,
one way or another, I will get Rob Fury. As dirty and devious as he can be, so could Billy Dante.
Billy, when you struck this business ship with Rob, you were also going through Grim and those dastardly things that he was saying about Grim's family.
Oh, God.
Did you think that those tables would ever be turned onto you?
No, because if you recall going back then, what I was trying to create was, the partnership with GTS and SWF and, take things to another level. More live events, more YouTube type videos. And unfortunately, like most, Rob likes to ruin things because of his own ego. And naturally, like a cigarette, stomped on it and put it out. Attacked Grim on a personal level, if you remember. And not only that, but on a business level. But I believe Mega Slam last year, I think, proved the point to Rob. Grim just ain't a YouTuber.
Yeah, I mean, he went flying off that that turnbuckle onto Rob, I mean, that was one crazy spot right there for
Absolutely.
sure.
And if you recall the casket match,
Yeah, the casket. Yeah.
oh come on, he didn't win that fair and square. Kurt Bell was in the casket. You had to see my reaction on that. That was ridiculous. Yeah. So Kurt Bell, so he's I won that myself. No, you didn't. But Rob's got to put himself over. So
Yeah, I mean, I would do the same thing as Rob. I don't want to be put in a casket, so I could kind of see why it's kind of justified to maybe that one, right? You know, that's a scary type of matchup.
well, I mean, listen, he was put into it. And that's it. He closed himself.
You talk, you gotta walk the walk.
Exactly.
I don't know. I know for me, I don't want to be buried alive or put in a casket while I'm
Don't
alive.
put yourself in a position to have that happen, right?
I guess so, but that one, I can't fault Rob for. I mean, I'm personal fear.
I hear you.
So when it comes to, let's say, the business aspect of everything, when it comes to standalone Pro Wrestling After Dark, SWF, you know, being co-owner of SWF, is it just a responsibility of you, hey, I'm taking care of the SWF stuff? Or is it kind of like a joint thing where, you know, you have a hand in like each thing?
It's a joint thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, I help with the sharing of the Pro Wrestling After Dark. I mean, I work multiple jobs, so it's very hard for me to go out and market, especially down there in Vineland and all that. Mm-hmm. But I do put the word out, you know, and I try to do as much as I possibly can to help Chad with that. As far as marketing and all that. You know, Rob's a big part of, you know, I even hate saying anything good about him, but he's a big part of that marketing machine. Yeah. Chad's like the Duracell bunny.
Yeah.
He just keeps going and going and going. I mean, the amount of hours that he puts in, I mean, he's got to plug himself into a wall. Seriously. I have no idea how he does what he does. Seriously. Yeah. I work some hours, but this guy's crazy. Yeah. When it comes down to flyering and marketing, I mean, the utmost respect, absolutely, all day. Mm-hmm. You know, Rob included. I mean, listen, nobody's the two biggest marketing machines are those two, and that's the goddamn truth. Mm-hmm. You know, I try to do as much as I possibly can, but them two, you know, they're real good. I mean, everybody gives a helping hand on each brand, nice. And they do. Man, Rob don't talk or see eye to eye in anything. Yeah. So basically, Chad's the middleman. Chad doesn't like Rob. Sometimes Chad don't like me. But somehow, some way, through communications, we make it work.
Yeah, I hear you. When it comes to like scheduling all these shows for, you know, these 3 different companies, like, how are you guys gonna do it? Is it gonna be like, hey, there's 2 companies this month, there's 1 this month? Like, how's the scheduling looking, you know, for you guys? Or what's the thought put into that?
Well, I mean, obviously nobody overlaps, and if we do, one's on a Friday, for example, February. Yeah. So February 8th, Pro Wrestling After Dark. February 9th, SWF Totowa. Gotcha. So we'll work it that way. Nobody overlaps. We're on the same day. Yeah. So everything is pre-planned and thought out. Mm-hmm. I mean, events are starting to pop up down in November. Yeah. Wow. So we already know, and it's already been discussed when, you know, shows are coming up. Obviously, if, you know, some township in North Jersey say, hey, listen, we'd like to do a fundraiser. Mm-hmm. You know, we'll have to figure, hey, listen, I got these weekends open, you know, and they could choose from there. Mm-hmm. But I would never, I personally, I know Chad wouldn't do that. I know Rob wouldn't do that. But nobody would put a show to hurt the other show. Gotcha. Which just never would happen.
Yeah, definitely. Gotcha.
In fact, I'm excited for the a Trifecta branded show, meaning all 3 companies in one show.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's, you know, a super show. I'm excited to, you know, hopefully that becomes into the works very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to working with Chad and Rob, what are some of those, you know, pros and cons that you talked about? You know,
it won't happen. To be in the same room, an ambulance is coming for him.
Well.
But, I mean, as far as working together, we manage. Mm-hmm.
You know, what I was thinking about is what do you tell people who haven't really understand what the trifecta is yet? You know, people who are kind of hating on it, just say, you know, yeah, this will never work. There's three different brands. There's too many things going on. What do you tell those haters? Um, that how is this gonna work? How do you tell them that, like, hey, give this a shot?
We all got one goal,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing that brought that into play. All three companies together was
Mm-hmm.
that one main goal: to go out there, put on a quality show with quantity behind it, give the fan experience, make people go, "That was a great show. I want to come back." You know, there's a lot of great moments that I could, as I didn't think of back a couple of years ago, that had happened, and the feedback was amazing. So, I mean, with it like that, like what I just said, with one goal in mind, is to do that. And I think with the haters, man, I really, honest to God, I don't pay no mind.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't. I don't know if the other two do. I don't focus on. I mean, I respect every company
Mm-hmm.
that's out there.
Mhm.
I respect what they do. We do it too. We're an independent wrestling organization. So are you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I focus on what I have to do, not what you're doing. And that's the mutual respect. Why am I going to sit here and say, all right, well, this is good, this is not, this is the, and put it out there? It's stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just got to focus on what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I love the business. I respect the business, and I respect everybody who's a part of the business. So to me, I don't pay no mind.
Yeah. Well, for me, I feel like it's just like you guys are like evolving to the next step of what wrestling companies are doing. Wrestling companies are working together. They're not branding themselves all together, but there's guys who work together like New Japan works with Ring of Honor,
Yeah.
Impact Wrestling, like those guys work together, but they're not official brand. You guys are just taking it to the next level, branding it, and then you guys are all helping each other. And if anything, I think it kind of makes it better because now you got more guys giving more ideas. Rob or Chad could give you an idea that you didn't think of, and vice versa.
Right.
So it's evolving, wrestling, and I think it is something progressive.
There's so much that Chad could do that I could never do, and admittingly,
Yeah.
there's so much that he could do I could never do.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that Rob could do I could never do. Listen, I'm not a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Rob is.
Mm-hmm.
There's something I could never be. So again, I respect that. Chad, when it comes down to like a convention or booking or the Trifecta camp, Jesus, you can't forget
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I mean,
that
how
too,
successful
yeah.
was that? That's his mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of us has a certain quality that we could you put on the table to make it to what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why the Trifecta is the way it is. I mean, it's a successful brand.
Yeah.
The Trifecta. But it was awesome.
Did you feel a little hurt that you weren't a part of Pro Wrestling After Dark? Or
No, not
No?
at all. Not at all. It's not that I wasn't a part of.
okay.
I mean, I wasn't involved firsthand
Mm-hmm.
in the show. Unfortunately, I couldn't even be at the first show.
Yeah.
My little one, the baby, was in the hospital with pneumonia, so I couldn't be at that first show regardless. But had he not been in the hospital, of course, I would have been there in the show support. I don't feel any type of way in regards to that. I mean, I wish it's all fall under the Trifecta, so I wish it ultimate success. But as far as feeling any type of way, no. And of course, if Chad ever said, "Hey, listen, I need your help," I'd be there in a second.
Yeah.
So
Now with Chad, Chad seems to be like he's very smart when it comes to like these things, and even with the convention Boardwalk Beatdown, this very innovative thing that he did, bringing that to Jersey, and very successful. And then now coming together on this project and everything, and then even with the Trifecta Academy, I feel like some guys, sometimes guys just hate on Chad just because I feel like he literally started from the bottom. I remember when he first started, and he used to message us and say, "Hey, I want to work with you guys," and we were like, you know us. We're just like, what? But, you know, like, he's a hard worker, and I think that kind of plays into it. I don't think people like to see people come from the bottom and be successful.
The second that you get into the business, and I had this too, the second you get into the business right away, you know, if you say you're a part of an organization, you're a mark.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, to me, it's a bullshit term. You know, if somebody wants to give something a go or give something a try, and they don't succeed, and they walk away, then so be it. But, I mean, look at me, for example. I mean, damn well beat up in this business already. You know, especially everything I went through with SWF and putting these shows together, production-wise. I mean, you see Mega Slam, Extreme Fallout. I was up 42 hours straight.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I mean, from start to finish. I had to pick people up from the airport, get them back there, produce a show. You know what I'm saying? Get people back to the airports. It was a disaster.
Oh, man.
You know? So it wasn't easy.
So, you know, we talked about Mega Slam last time you were here and the issues that came from there. What have you learned now since we left, you know, last talked from that experience?
Don't deal with bullshit agents.
Oh, okay.
Not gonna lie. I mean, that's really the ultimate. Again, we never sold for it. Mega Slam was a very big success. It turned the page for SWF. But there was a lot of bullshit behind it. And there was a lot of downfall behind it.
Yeah.
Financially. We both took a hit, me and Rod. Big time. Show still happened.
Yeah.
Everything went as planned. I mean, the only thing that didn't show that night was Ron Simmons, but he had a personal emergency with his children. Yeah. You know, that's unavoidable. Something you can't do anything about. However, we didn't forget because we got him for Barnegat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's cool that you're delivering on promises even if they didn't come through the first time at Mega Slam. Now, you know, brand loyalty is something you talked about before too. What is it about SWF that you guys are working on now, striving now to break away from Pro Wrestling After Dark? You know, Standalone and other companies. You know, that makes you guys unique.
I mean, the brand itself is unique.
Mm-hmm.
You know. We have our own unique players that are involved. We have a unique roster. We have just a unique look altogether. Any building that you come to see us in, whether it's the full Mega Slam set, half Mega Slam set. Oh Jesus, I'm tired. You know, it could be just a single trestle. It could be a couple of lights. You never know. You know, it's not the same look every single time. Except if Charlie wants to get smoke happy, then everybody gets smoke. But as far as that, I mean, I don't foresee SWF breaking away from Pro Wrestling After Dark or Standalone. Mm-hmm. I think it'll always be the Trifecta. I think it'll always be the three brands. Yeah. Whether one's more successful that month or the next one is more successful. Hey, listen, I could have, it could happen. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I could have 30 people in the crowd for an SWF show, but Pro Wrestling After Dark has 300. That's great. You know, that's regardless, we've all succeeded. Yeah. So, you know, I don't foresee SWF breaking away from that, but SWF definitely it's its own brand.
Yeah. And with the when it comes to the Trifecta camp that you kind of hinted on earlier.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Definitely. What are you guys looking to accomplish with that, and how can someone get involved with that if they want to be a part of it?
New and fresh faces, brother. Yeah. You can't, you know, there's a lot of people that want to get into the business, and maybe they do have some type of experience. Maybe some people you never even heard of. Yeah. And you know, they come down to the tryout camp, and in front of, I think we had 8 or 9 companies on the first one. Mm-hmm. I think now we're up to going to have like 15 companies that are going to be there, and out of 38 that came to that tryout, I think over 20, definitely over 20 have been booked, whether it's been SWF, Pro Wrestling After Dark, whether they're booked on the Standalone or other companies that were there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it wasn't, and some people would say, you know, it's a work, you got to pay $35 to do a tryout thing. Mm-hmm. Oh, bullshit. Again, quantity and quality. Yeah. You know, so you pay $35. you're booked on the next 8 months. And do the math.
Yeah. Yep.
And, it was well worth it on their end. A lot of them are booked by me already. You'll see a lot of them in the upcoming shows. Majority of them, actually. The next one, I'm hoping we double that number.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Especially with 15 different companies sitting there. I really do. I hope we double that number, and I hope double the number get the chances to be booked on shows.
Yeah.
Fresh face, fresh feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw in a post that Chad did recently, I saw that Pat Buck was going to be involved in the next one that's coming up.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's got to be like a great feeling knowing like, Pat Buck, he has Creative Pro Wrestling.
Absolutely.
One of the best, wrestling schools that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
To have him like vouch for you guys and to be there to show support.
It's an honor.
It's got to feel good, right?
It's an honor. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm very appreciative.
Yeah.
I met Pat once. It was a Wrestle Pro show in Rahway.
Mm-hmm.
Humble guy, man.
Yeah,
He was a
very
great
nice
guy. He was very, very respectful, very nice. So, to me, it was like, all right, this is really, really great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is weird because companies that would never work together, in the past, all this tension, fighting, now to use a word, synergy, coming together, knowing that, these companies are still kind of your rivals, but now maybe there's less tension. Now you guys can work together. Is that a good feeling for you?
Oh, absolutely. 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 No, you know what? No more of that hostility or anything like that. There's no reason. There's no purpose. This is each one supports each other. It's great.
Yeah.
That really is. That's really great.
Because you're bringing in guys from CCW in the rep, and guys from Wrestle Pro like Sean Donovan and Monster Demoff.
Them two guys
Yeah.
are great. Sean Donovan, I spent time with during that tryout.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Scary dudes.
What an incredible guy.
He's
Incredible
awesome.
guy.
He's definitely awesome.
I had respect to him. I had respect for him before, but
Yeah.
way more so now. I mean, getting to know him, it was an honor, to be there with him. He was a great dude.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is a brand new horizon. I mean, when Chad was here and Rob, when we were talking, I mean, they did sell me on the idea that any matchup that you could dream of could happen now, because there's so many places working together. What's a dream match for you, if you could pick anybody from these companies?
What would be a dream match? Anything that hurts Rob Fury. Nah. Oh man, what would be a dream
Like
match?
another casket match?
Yeah, legitimately with the Undertaker.
Sounds like a good match.
Yeah, right.
See, that's the one.
The Undertaker versus Rob Fury, Mega Slam 2020.
Like that.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm ducking behind the rail because I don't want to.
I'm ducking behind the rail too. What would be a dream match? Wow.
That's like an overkill. There's like so many people you can think of.
Yeah, man.
That
I don't know what
that
else.
is the fantastic part about the trifecta, about SWF teaming up.
Because anything's
with-
possible.
Yes, and it doesn't even have to be at a Pro Wrestling After Dark show. It doesn't have to just be at a standalone show. It could happen legitimately anywhere.
Mhm.
At an SWF show, it could happen at a GCW show. It could happen anywhere if these things really materialize, and they seem to be happening. I mean, you can potentially have matchups that you never thought you could see, and it's happening under one umbrella, and that's the trifecta, which is essentially your brand, SWF, and the other ones that Rob owns and Chad. So this is,
It helps everybody.
yeah, this is, and the wrestlers too, because this is maybe an opportunity that they wouldn't have gotten at another show to get that dream match, right?
Yeah.
So this is crazy for everybody. I'm looking forward to the future.
Me too. Me too. I'm very excited.
So when you guys like put together shows and you're planning shows, like I see Chad. I love Chad. He's like thinking so far ahead. He's like promoing like 4 shows ahead.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys have matches set for these things, or is it kind of like you're building your way up?
Listen, you could, and I'm sure any promoter could back this. I mean, you could write a show a week before, 2 weeks before, a month before, and it's never the same thing when you walk into the building.
Change up, yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah.
So you basically got your match lineup. I mean, you know what you're going to do as far as that is concerned. How it's dictated in the ring, I mean, that's really up to the guys. But you know what your ultimate goal, what your payoff is, and that's what you go off of.
Mhm.
So I mean, whatever you got to make work is what you make work.
Yeah.
You know.
Hell no.
Yeah. Coming from the fan side into owning a wrestling company, you must have had some of your favorites, watching in those rings. Who is one, superstar that you would want to bring? If you had to bring one, because you bring these legends in all the time. If you had one that you haven't had to bring in, who would it be?
If I had to be a legend.
He gets to work with the legend Rob Fury every day.
Oh, please.
He
That's like stepping in dog shit. Like
a personal favorite that you've had.
If I had to bring one in, yeah, I'd have to go back to what I said before. Taker. I mean,
that'd be nice. Maybe one
the
day,
Undertaker
man.
one day,
It happen, man.
Had to have the Undertaker at a Mega Slam one day, man. That could happen, But outside of that, who the hell
You
knows?
guys gonna have to pull out the
You never
checkbooks
know.
for that one, man.
Yeah, but I got a lot of my own favorites, man. You got Shane Douglas, a great dude.
Yeah.
Tommy Dream is awesome. Pippa Glarry Wolf was awesome.
Yeah.
Tito Santana. I mean, he's number one, bro. And they're all great.
Yeah.
They are. So I mean, I've been blessed and privileged to meet all these guys.
Ultimate Dragon and Sonny Ono were just awesome dudes.
Oh man, you didn't go out to eat with them. That was great. That was a good time, bro. Sonny
Did you wear
Ono
the
was another
mask?
one class act. Huh?
Did he wear the mask while he
I'm
ate?
not allowed to tell you that.
Okay.
That was incognito.
Because-
incognito.
Because that must be a little disturbing. I mean, must get fans coming through, while you're eating. So
No. No, you wouldn't be able to pick out the Ultimate Dragon.
Really, that's crazy, man.
Not a chance in hell.
That's awesome.
You
But
wouldn't even know.
yeah, and not even that. You had Juventud Guerrera, super crazy that night. I mean, you talk about a lineup for days at Mega Slam. That was just incredible. And plus, what you've been
What a
doing.
night.
Yeah.
One of my favorites you guys had, this is my son's favorite wrestler, believe it or not. And I use the word wrestler very lightly. The Great Khali. And that was like the first time.
Genesis.
That was like the first time it's been brought to like Jersey. I was like, this is crazy. But it's a great experience because it's like, he's such an attraction. It's just like, his hands were like the size of my face. It was
I walked
crazy.
into the back room. I didn't get to meet Kali when he first got there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I didn't get to see him. I was tied up. But I walked into the back room. Next thing I know, I'm standing up against a wall of a man.
Yeah.
I said, wow.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to say? Like,
Yeah.
how you doing, the Great Khali? Billy, shaking his hand, bro. It just wrapped mine, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Incredible.
That was a really great experience.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah. It was,
And
nice.
that was
Cool.
that was something else. Something else that was innovative. You know what I mean? First time Great Khali in these areas. It was crazy.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. What incredible actions. I mean, you had the women's division that, from the cruiserweight division, from everywhere in between. I mean, yeah, I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see what happens with SWF in the future. I mean, I'm not going to ask you for any spoilers. We'll wait and see for sure.
No, there's no spoilers, brother. There's no spoilers. I mean, the only way you want, we'll start hinting things as we go along.
Yeah.
But there's no spoilers, man. You got to be there to see it. I mean, I know I will give you one. You probably know it if you don't know. But there's going to be a big change to that Mega Slam set.
Really?
So, I mean, that's going to be a big change. A lot of big things coming up. A lot of names already talked to and everything else.
Nice. Definitely look forward to it.
Yeah, a lot of surprising stuff, but
As of late, I've been noticing Chad and Vincenzo. They've been going at it. Do you have a side that you kind of lean towards?
yeah, I don't know who Vinny thinks he is. Again, being 2 feet tall, he's got nobody to look down on, and I'm sorry for that. I can't control those things, but he really shouldn't be messing with my partner either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who he thinks he is,
Yeah.
but I'm sure Chad will verbally put him in his place in Toto.
Oh man.
Make him eat Doritos through a straw.
This is heading. You know where this is heading, man. We're gonna see Billy and Chad in the ring, man. Tag team together. Don't let Chad die.
Hey, my favorite moment is when Chad hit Rob with the chain.
Oh man.
I can't forget that.
Jeez. This is gonna be great.
So you don't think there's a way that maybe you can mend these fences at all with Rob Fury. You know, if maybe something, if he was enlightened or something like that, you know, and get that moment of clarity where he did mess up. Is there a way that you could forgive him?
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
So if I slammed your kid, would you forgive?
I don't think so, but I don't have a kid, so I don't know.
You have a kid?
I wouldn't forgive you. No, I have 2 kids. Yes,
Right.
I definitely wouldn't forgive you.
I don't know if I could ever forgive.
Mhm.
I don't think that'll ever happen. Forgetting, that will never happen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
To move on past it, no.
yeah.
I can't foresee that ever happening.
Oh man.
You know, they're making my life a living hell.
Mhm.
Rob, just Furious 5.
You know.
Controversy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm standing in the middle of the ring at Extreme Fallout. One of the people from the venue come out, his box was delivered. I opened up the box. What I seen inside that box was a scary sight. I don't want to talk about it. So apparently somebody's trying to send me a message. I got this big goof, Astro Morales. He's breaking my balls.
Mhm.
So I have that on my plate. I've got a referee that's chasing me all over the place, begging me to be a wrestler. I don't have the time for this shit, you know? So it's been very difficult. But, and I don't know if Rob's behind every one of them.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
But to make amends with Rob, I'd rather close the company.
Really?
Absolutely. In fact, I think it would probably be better if somebody bought me out, to be honest with you. But that would be only for his sake.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, never say never, man. We've seen some crazy stuff happen in wrestling.
Hey, you're right. Never say never.
Yeah.
But if somebody messages me with an offer, they could have a SWF.
Oh man.
You can message Virgil. He's a he wants to be the $1 million man. He might have some money.
He might. You got to sell that belt.
So actually, if you want to pull out the checkbook, we can buy the other half.
And you could be part of the Rob.
Then we can terrorize Rob all the time.
No, I have medical bills, so.
Rob, trust me, Rob doesn't know getting terrorized until he partners up with my boy Andrew right here.
There you
See
go.
that? I love you, man. Man.
Yeah, you know. But you know, hey, that is some pretty serious stuff. You know, even Jimmy Controversy going, you know, to your house, right, and
That kid's
facing
pathetic.
it, right.
That wasn't my house.
Oh, thank God.
You know, what do you think? I live in a trailer?
No, but that he, just the sentiment. Of
This is what they
doing
do
that.
to me. You understand? This is the way they make the public portray me. This is what they try to break me down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the more and more I'm getting pissed off, the more and more they're winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said before, Controversy is a shit stain. That's all he is. That's all he'll ever be. And he'll never be successful as long as I'm part of this company. But, you know, he's the primary reason I couldn't get to my kid with that chain around my neck.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a marked man walking regardless. And believe me, my nephew, Waylon Cage, takes that very personal. So it's Sayreville, January 26th. Robin Controversy. They're in for a rude awakening.
You know, I still can't believe it, man. That you know, things have happened this way for you. But I'm glad to see that you're still fighting back. You're still, you know, you're not giving in to some of these tactics.
I don't know how much more I could take, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we understand.
I really don't know how much more I could take. I mean, you can only push a man so far, you know.
Remember, nice guys finish last, Billy, all right?
Yeah, I know. But
So don't be too nice, all right?
You know, again, you know, what was it about that interview last week that we had with Rob and Chad? What were some things that stuck out to you that were false?
oh, yeah. Listen, it's not worth picking apart their what was over embellished or not. And listen, they did the best they could with the mediocre intelligence they have. But I mean, man, I know Chad was probably aggravated for being there just with Rob alone.
Well, he wasn't happy to be in
I'm sure.
Bumblefuck, East Brunswick.
Yeah, I heard
as
that.
He,
I
as he
peed.
said.
Oh,
I
man.
I peed.
thought it was a nice town.
Yeah, it's not bad. But I mean, I was gonna hit by a deer not too long ago. But hey, listen, that's fine. But when I pulled up here, I couldn't see the numbers. I don't know what I was in. Thought I was in a Jason movie. But nah, I mean, they both had a story to tell, and they told it.
Yeah. You know, for people who haven't been to an SWF show, what can they expect from the show on the 26th, on the 26th, and what can they expect from shows going into the future?
Oh
for
man,
you
there's
guys?
always something. There's always a surprise.
Mhm.
There's always an element of surprise. But what they can expect on this January 26th show, that's the fundraiser for Saraville Emergency Squad.
Yeah.
Now, Saraville EMS is a 24-hour, 7 days a week volunteer ambulance squad. So they provide EMS to the borough of Saraville. You know, they got a very large area. They depend solely on, donations. So, they need help and they need more equipment and all that. And absolutely, I was proud and honored to do the fundraiser with them and for them. Shane Douglas, Brandon Kirk, the ambulance match.
Mhm.
I mean, what more could you look forward to?
Yeah, I'm
And
glad I'm not. those
Shane
guys.
Douglas had some words for Brandon Kirk just a little bit earlier ago. We just put up. He's never been in one.
Oh, man.
So this is Shane Douglas's first ambulance match.
I'm looking forward to that.
So this is going to be, that's definitely something to look forward to.
Definitely.
And second to that would be me standing in the middle of a ring with Rob.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I'm just glad I'm not either Brandon Kirk or Shane Douglas right now. What you're saying in that ambulance match.
Yeah, that's going to be incredible. And then you got the rep
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
with Senta Slaughter.
Yeah, another
is
match. I
like
don't
just
want to be.
nuts.
I don't want to be the
That's
ref
nuts.
in that
Can
match
the
either.
building even hold that?
That's nuts.
I'm being honest with you. Can that building even hold that match?
That's nuts. That's just crazy.
That is one part of the trifecta right there in that one match. I mean,
Yeah.
you wouldn't probably see that anywhere, but the trifecta
Exactly.
SWF is bringing that to you. I mean, we just talked about before, dream matches happening under one building.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Modern Vintage is bringing in Mike and Elgin.
Oh, man.
How cool is that? I mean, that's awesome.
New
Yeah.
Japan, Intercontinental Champion.
Absolutely. That's incredible.
Sounds like you guys I hope you guys got more than one ambulance. Don't just have one
They got
ambulance.
four.
and an ambulance. All right, good.
They got 4.
Good.
I have a bad heart now, so you might need one from me.
Oh, my God.
Don't say that.
Yeah, seriously.
But that is how exciting this is.
Yeah.
I mean, my heart is racing with enjoyment for you and
Thank
for what
you.
you guys are doing for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you.
I mean, it's just racing with excitement. Absolutely. I mean, I'm just excited about the matchups that people are going to be able to see. The vignettes that you guys are talking about, that you alluded to, Shane Douglas. I mean, he's dropping vignettes for you guys. I mean, this is crazy. This is a whole new world, and I'm glad to see that you're a part of it, Billy.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So, Billy, if people want to get tickets to SWF, or they want to connect with you on social media, how do they get tickets and how do they reach out?
You can connect to me, Billy Fetzke, Fetzke on Facebook, or Billy Dante. I also have the Billy Dante page on Facebook. You can get tickets by going to SWF Live Pro Wrestling Entertainment on Facebook. Just follow the links to events and then link to Eventbrite. If you have any questions, sometimes we do the PayPal link. We'll put the PayPal link up. Once that link is up, you're able to click that and get your tickets through there as well.
Nice. Awesome.
Plus, they can come to the show, right?
Absolutely.
And make a
Tickets at the door.
donation.
Yes, they could.
And they can also get tickets at the door.
Correct.
I mean, this is one place you want to be. They have multiple shows. I mean, it's hard to miss. There are 30 shows almost guaranteed this year.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't
We're
want
on
to
track
miss.
for that.
You don't want to miss any of these hard-hitting action of the SWF or the trifecta itself from Standalone and Pro Wrestling After Dark.
Yeah.
Billy, thank you so much for taking out the time. Man.
No,
We
no
really
problem.
do
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
And, best of luck, man. We really
Thank
mean
you.
it.
I really appreciate it. Rob's going to need it.
Oh, man. As for us, we're Wrestling IQ 101. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Wrestling IQ 101. You can listen to us here right on YouTube, or on the B Plus Player Network via Google Play, iTunes, any streaming platform. We thank you for listening, and we are out. You have just listened to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast, powered by B Plus Player Radio.
One more for the good guy.